Hello, I'm Lemisile Pamela Ngubane, and this is the Entity Dynamics podcast. I'm going to talk now about career development, and the motto here is love yourself. Love yourself so that you will do for yourself the things whose consequences are for your highest good. And when it comes to your career, that self-love looks like self-discipline. Okay, in Hamlet, Shakespeare has one of the characters who I can't remember his name, but he's like an advisor to the king. And he says to his son, I think his name is Laertes, Ophelia's brother, he says, to thine own self be true. Be true to yourself. Love and truth go hand in hand. You can't claim to love someone and then you lie to them. Similarly, if you love yourself and you lie to yourself, then that's not self-love. That's self-deception. And if you're deceiving yourself, I can guarantee you that the consequences of that deception are not self-defection. That's interesting slip of a tongue, because when you defect, you actually abandon, you leave. So in many respects, when you deceive yourself, you're actually abandoning yourself. So that self-defection, self-deception will not bear anything which is for your highest good. It will not have good consequences for you. So know thyself, to thine own self be true. Don't put other people's version of you as the version of you that you aspire to, unless that's the version you've given them and you agree with that version. You know what I mean? If someone comes and tells you, oh, Pam, you used to be such an alcoholic in the past, and so why do you think you have the right to tell anyone anything? It's like, yeah, I was an alcoholic in the past. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I don't identify with that person that I used to be. I've moved past that. I've moved on. If someone wants to hold on to that version of me, that's their business. That's cool. Do you? I know myself, and I love myself enough to give myself the credit I deserve for the work I've done on myself. And I love myself enough to have the self-discipline to not put myself in the places with the people and with the things that would make me go back to that type of a life, because I don't want to be there. That was not, the consequences of those actions were not for my highest good. Okay, that's what I'm aspiring to now, to do things that are for my highest good, because I love myself. Self-discipline. Another form of self-discipline is time management. One of the most important forms of self-discipline, and what does it all go back to? It goes back to putting yourself first. Self-love means putting yourself first in your own life. Not in someone else's life, in your life. And it's not selfish. People think, they'll be like, oh, you're being selfish. You're telling people to put themselves first. Yes, in their own life. Selfishness is when you want to put yourself first in someone else's life. When you go to someone and you say, hey, I need help with ABC, and that person's like, oh, no, I'm busy, I can't help you, sorry. And then you're like, oh, you don't love me, you don't care about me, you don't want me to take up your time and your energy. That's being selfish. Okay? Real love is, hey, please help me. Oh, you can't. Okay, no stress. When you can, please do. I really do need your help. That's respecting the other person, and unfortunately, in many of the religious cultures and other, social cultures on this world that we live in, we have this idea that being a selfish, loving person means putting other people first. It doesn't mean putting other people first in your life. It doesn't. And in fact, if it meant putting, and then they'll use a religious figure. They'll say like, look at Christ, he put everyone first. Christ had a mission when he came to this planet. Now, whether you believe in the historicity or whatever truth of any of these stories, that's not the point. The point is what these stories are there to convey and what they communicate and the record that they come from. Let's just take it at face value. The Gospels, okay, that's what they say happened. Let's go with that. Christ did not put other people first in his life. If Christ was putting other people first in his life, when Peter told him that he is not to die, like when Christ said, the Son of Man must give up his life. And then Peter said, it will not be so with you, Lord. And then Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. You don't understand the ways of God. You're thinking with the mind of men. If Christ was going to put someone first in his life, he would have put Peter first. Then there's another incident where they say, Lord, your mother and your brothers are outside and they want to talk to you. And the record, there's some commentators on that record, they say when the mother and the brothers of the Messiah had come to that house, they actually wanted to take him away because they were feeling like this guy is making a spectacle of himself. He's being OTT. He's just, no, he's mistaken. He's not the Messiah, right? And he said, who is my mother and my brother and my sister? He says, anyone who does what I'm teaching. That's my real relative. Okay. And then likewise, when he was 12 years old, he went, I think they were in Jerusalem for Passover. I'm not sure. And then they traveling 3 days. Or the end of the next day, they don't find him. They're like, where's Jesus? Mary and Joseph are like, oh my gosh, where's our son? And they go back to Jerusalem. And then after like 2 days, so 3 days later, basically from them initially missing him, they find him in the temple talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. And then they're like, how could you do this to us? We've been so worried about you. Where were you? He says, where did you think I was going to be? Obviously, I was going to be about my Father's business. He was putting himself first. He was putting his mission on this planet first and foremost. He did not put other people first in his life. His mission was to do the will of his Father. So your mission on this planet is for you to do what you are here to do. Okay, don't be putting other people first in your life. Putting other people first in your life looks like this. You want to be a concert pianist? You know you need to practice 4 hours a day at least on that piano in order to get to the level that you need to be and stay at that level. Now, if your friend comes and says, hey, dude, we don't ever get to see you because you're always so busy with this piano thing. Don't you want to just like let it go for today and come and hang out with us? Come on, give yourself a break. And you know you need to practice. You know that you're at the level where you are about to break through with some understanding and some muscle memory attainment with that piano. Loving yourself and putting yourself first in your life looks like you saying to that person, sorry, I understand that you want to hang out, but this career of being a concert pianist is more important to me than anything. And as my friend, I would appreciate it if you could appreciate how important this is to me and let me reschedule with you. You know, a real friend will say, dude, totally get it, no stress. You know, we'll talk on the phone or hit me up with an SMS or a message when you're done, or let me know when you're free. You know, that's a person who's selfless because they're not asking you to put them first in your life. They understand the need for you to put yourself first in your life. Okay. And, you know, probably one of the places that you'll be most tripped up in terms of your career development is in personal relationships, whether they're friendships, family relationships, and romantic relationships, whether it's just a partnership or a marriage. You will find yourself under pressure to put other people first in your life. And like I say, we live in a culture where this is normalized, putting other people first. Okay, and unfortunately, a lot of the time people open themselves up to abuse when they do this because there are some unscrupulous people who don't care about other people, who will put you under pressure to put them first in your life. And if you don't, they are crazy. They're like spoiled brats throwing tantrums and stuff. You need to love yourself enough, know yourself, love yourself enough to say, I am worth the time that I need to put into myself to have the life that I want. And then you do it. And don't let anyone come to you and say, oh, look what Buddha did, sacrificing himself for humanity. Buddha was living his mission. He sacrificed himself for his mission, not for anyone who wanted him to put themselves first in his life. So please take yourself seriously, guys. the world needs you to shine your light and to be true to yourself. Thank you. Bye bye.